Hello to everyone. I am Professor Raja, working as Assistant Professor, EC Department, SNS College of Technology, and Autonomous Institution, Coimbatore. In this YouTube video, I am going to discuss the 19 ECB 301 Analog and Digital Communication subject under the topic Pulse Position Modulation. In my previous YouTube video, I have discussed the pulse amplitude modulation. Now, I am going to discuss the pulse position modulation. Pulse position modulation is a modulation technique in which the position of pulses varies according to instantaneous value of amplitude of sampled modulating signal. The width of pulses remains constant, only their position will changes. Hence, transmitter power remains the same. Next, how to generate ppm signal. In this block diagram, if you see, the input signal is given to the comparator. The comparator also take the another input from sawtooth signal. Both are given to pulse width modulation. Both signal will generate the pulse width modulation. The monostable multivibrator will convert this pulse width modulation into a pulse position modulation. If you see in this block diagram, first a PAM, that is pulse amplitude modulator signal, is produced, which is processed at comparator to generate a pulse width modulator signal. After processing, the output of comparator is fed as input to the monostable multivibrator. There being negative edge triggered, the output of vibrator goes high with trailing edge of pulse width modulator signal. The trailing edge of pulse width modulation shifts with modulating signal, creating pulse position message pulses. Next, direction of ppm signal. In this block diagram, first a PAM signal is produced, which is processed at comparator to generate a pulse width modulated signal. After processing, the output of comparator is fed as input to the monostable vibrator. Being a negative edge trigger, the output of vibrator goes high with trailing edge of pulse width modulator signal. The trailing edge of pulse width modulation shift with modulating signal, which will creating the ppm signal. Waveform. Pulse position modulation is an analog modulation scheme where the amplitude and width of the pulses are kept constant, while the position of the pulses with respect to the position of the reference pulses is varied according to the instantaneous value of the message signal. ppm can be obtained from PWM. This is done by getting rid of the leading edge and bodies of the PWM pulses. Advantages of ppm. Due to constant width of pulses, the transmission power remains constant and displays no variations. ppm shows better noise immunity as compared to an amplitude modulated signal. This is because information in ppm is stored in position rather than amplitude. The recovery process of ppm signal from its distorted form is easy and simple. The ppm system has very low system requirement, so it is frequent used in lightweight appliances with simple accessories. The overall power required for such system is low as compared to PAM, making it a power efficient modulation technique. Drawbacks of ppm. Even though ppm has so much advantages, now I am going to discuss the drawback of ppm. The major limitation of this technique is that it requires large bandwidth as compared to other methods, increasing the bandwidth consumption. In order to perform detection of the signal at receiver, it is necessary that transmitter and receiver are synchronized. This is not possible at every time. It is really sensitive to phenomena like interference, which can disturb a transmission by changing the difference in arrival of times of every signal. Now we are going to discuss the application of ppm. This modulation technique finds its application in air traffic control system, in radio control, and in military applications. Since ppm is used in non-coherent detection when we don't recover a receiver having a PLL for tracking carrier phase. Since this modulation technique helps in compression of data. It is often used for storage purpose. We can employ PPM in optimal communication. This is done to minimize the dispersion effect and efficiently use the laser power. PPM is employed in remote control systems in which a stream of pulses is used to encode the information in bits. So thank you for watching my video. In this YouTube video, I discussed what is in PPM, generation of PPM, demodulation of DPM, advantages, drawbacks and applications of PPM. Next video, I am going to discuss the pulse width modulation. Thank you.